Hey everybody. I honest to God feel the need to weigh in about what happened the other day in Pennsylvania, in Butler, Pennsylvania there. It's fucking with me. There I go. I just swore. But what the hell, America? What is going on? I know. I know. We all have our world polarized right now. And by the way, I thank heaven that God, I'm not going to articulate this very well. I can't do this. I'm not prepared for this. I just said it on the spot. I'm going to do a video on this because I had to, but I don't have anything planned. I'm just going out off my head like I always do. I don't know if that's going to go well here. We're going to try though. I've seen some really good ones that people have done, and I feel the need to join them. And, the world needs to condemn this crap. This let's end political discourse by shooting, by violence. Yeah, let's use violence. That's a good idea. That always works. Oh, good Lord, does it always work? Yeah, it works great, doesn't it? I mean, I'm no, I've made no secret about it. I'm no fan of the former president. But dag nabbit, um, this is not, no, this is not the way. Not the way we deal with that. I mean, you you end up with blood is all you end up with. Blood and bitterness. All you get with this kind of thing. And I'm obviously, as I think the tone, I'm as much as I rag on Donald Trump, and I do a lot. I'm not gonna vote for him. Even now, I'm not gonna. I mean, it's just because I disagree with it, which is fine in America. There's gonna be 50 million people that don't vote for Trump or whatever it is. Okay, it's not illegal to not vote for a guy. And the sympathy vote, there might be a few of those. He may have just sealed re-election, to be fair, or getting elected again, rather. I call it re-election, but I'm just rambling. I don't even know my brain's not working right now. I don't know what I'm doing here. Uh, I just feel like the man. I just it just shocked me to my core when I saw this. There's never been an assassination of an American political figure in my lifetime. There have been attempts. Gerald Ford had it happen twice. I don't remember those. I was real small then. But I've heard about them since, of course, being a history guy. But then Ronald Reagan, that one I do remember. That one I do remember. I remember being on the school bus going home from school that day, and the bus driver telling us that some guy just shot the president. And I knew already then, even though I was real young, I knew about John F. Kennedy, and thinking, God, is this gonna be another JFK thing? Fortunately, Ronald Reagan, got lucky a little bit. That bullet was an inch from his heart or something, and he got lucky. Well, in this case here, from Donald Trump's perspective, if that bullet's 1 inch to the left, it would have been the most gruesome video of all time. He's lucky to be alive, and I'm glad that he is. My condolences to that poor gentleman that died, whoever it was. I don't have any condolences with the shooter who got what he deserved. But it's just, what are we doing here in America? I'm getting 1968 vibes out of this. 1968, a storm year, for those that don't know. It was before I was born, too. But I've read about it, a lot about it. And, we lost Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy, who was running for president, by the way. He very possibly could have won the Democratic nomination that year. I somehow doubt that, to be fair. I have my own opinions about that, but definitely would have been a factor in the race. And he was a good man, and so was Martin Luther King, of course. They both were assassinated that year. You have the Vietnam War going on. Well, I mean, we don't have a war that we're actually fighting in right now, but there is the Gaza thing and the Ukraine thing, and people, the Gaza thing especially, the college campuses, like 1968, are up in arms over the Palestinian thing. And there's just so many vibes you're getting from that. It's like that year's reaching out to, here, 2024, let's give you a little taste of what it was like then. Because that's what's happening. The president is being asked to step down. You know, Joe Biden was, after that debate, of course, is asked to step down, renounce renunciation. They called it with Lyndon Johnson back then in '68, who did step down and decide not to run. He could have. Well, they asked the same thing about Joe Biden. I don't think he's going to do it. But I mean, we're getting just echoes from it. You know, history rhymes. It doesn't always. History doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes. There's a bit of a lilt to this one, isn't there? From 1968. I'm getting these vibes from it. It's not quite matching 1968 because there has been an assassination, thank God. You know, the president didn't step down. There's not a war we're actually fighting in, but there's all this. It's kind of close, and it's history rhyming again, like it always does. You just what Chinese philosopher said, "May you live in interesting times." Well, we're living in interesting times, aren't we, right now? Too interesting. What's next? I mean, the convention going to be chaos? Not quite, because we can't quite match 1968. It's a theme of this whole thing, this premise that I've got going here. I don't. There'll be some contention at probably both conventions, but it won't be as bad as it was in Chicago in 1968 when there was a riot on the streets, a police riot at one point. Yeah, that was a cluster F. That thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. What's the next shoe to drop? I feel like we got more, and I'm dreading it. How is this going to be, man? I mean, is some MAGA person that's a little bit too unhinged going to blame Joe Biden for this and go after him? I sure as hell hope not. I don't think that's going to happen, really, but the thought has crossed my mind. Even though this guy supposedly that took his shots at Mr. Trump was a Republican, supposedly a registered Republican. Now, some states require you to register to vote in the primary. And maybe he wanted to vote against Trump. Maybe he doesn't like Trump. And he wanted to vote against Trump. So he had to register as Republican. We don't require that in Minnesota. We have open primaries here. But it's... I feel like I just needed to say things and I'm just... And what's going on, folks? As Marvin Gaye once said, what's going on, man? What's going on? Just... Violence is not the answer. It never was. It never was. It wasn't on 9/11. It wasn't on, it wasn't in response to that. It wasn't in Dallas in 1963. Or Theodore Roosevelt in 1912 when he got shot and almost killed. Or Giuseppe Zangara taking shots at Franklin Roosevelt, killing the mayor of Chicago, Anton Cermak, in 1933. None of that was the answer. And Hey, I don't know. I just feel the need to do this. I mean, I saw Chris Mowry. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't even remember. I'm kind of cloudy right now. But I saw Chris Mowry from Blogging Through History do his take on this. And it was astoundingly good. And I'm not one to share videos like that because nobody else in my family's into what I'm into. You know what I mean? So I don't do that. But I would. If I was going to do that, I would do that. I would share that one. And it just emboldened me to do this. And I'm not saying near what he said. I'm not as smart as he is. He am. I'm not as smart as he is. But I'm just going from the heart here. We're better than this as a people. Really, as Western society in general, but as Americans in particular, we're better than this. We can do that. We can come together a little bit here. I don't think it's going to happen. That's one thing you would hope would happen here, right? That the left and the right would come together a little bit and decry this violence and maybe find common ground in that. Well, it happened briefly on 9/11 and didn't last. It's like Chris Mowry said in his video. We just don't know how to disagree anymore, do we? That was so profound. It's true. We don't know how to disagree. Some of us go to guns. Fortunately, it's very rare, but unfortunately not rare enough. We gotta learn to disagree, folks. I'm not a big Trump fan, and I'll admit it again. But I would never advocate his murder for any reason. I mean, just like I hope people on the right, well, I used to sort of be over there, but whatever. People in my party that was stolen from me don't think the same thing about Joe Biden and blame him for this. Then the whole stage thing. It's staged. It was staged. Oh yeah, this is staged. Which is the stupidest damn thing ever. And Chris Mowry goes over this real well in his take. Which is similar to mine, by the way. He's the same background almost. He knew it from my house or anything, but yeah. And my video quality is way less, and my mental quality is as well. But anyway, he was talking about how these people that immediately in the aftermath of this thing were talking about how it was staged. Think of the idiocy of that. Now, he's been I'm rehashing the same thing other people have said probably by now. Hundreds of other people probably. And it's not going to be anything new to you, but it's my take and I'm going to go with it. I don't care. Think of the idiocy of this was staged. Now just imagine this now. Let's just take this to its extreme. Okay, you're Donald Trump. You want sympathy votes. So you go to this 20-year-old kid. This 20-year-old kid is probably unhinged. And he has an assault rifle, man. And look, I'm going to be speaking in Butler, Pennsylvania there. And I want you to take a shot at me, but just graze my ear. I'm just going to graze my ear. That's all I want you to do. You may kill someone in the crowd. That's all right, man. I want to get elected. Maybe injure other people, too. Oh, and did I mention, too, that when that's all over, the Secret Service is going to kill you. Yeah, it was staged. Stupid. And then people will say, yeah, well, it went wrong. He was supposed to totally miss him and miss everybody, and then, get away and all that. Even then, he get killed by the Secret Service. It's so stupid. I don't know. Don't know. I'm just sprouting out nonsense right now, but it needs to be said. Everybody, we all need to come together a little more, and at least agree to disagree respectfully. That is what I took from Chris Mowry's thing. Disagree respectfully at least. Don't resort to guns. Don't resort to violence. I mean, it seems obvious, but it's just not to people. And I've never really seen an American political figure assassinated in my life. And if you watch my YouTube channel, you know I did a JFK video, and I know about those, of course. But I've never actually seen one. I mean, the closest thing to it would have been John Lennon getting killed, who was not even an American citizen, but, you know, it's something that would be near and dear to me. Though I didn't really know who he was at the time. Later, of course, I learned a lot about it. But, you know, I don't remember that firsthand. I was 8 years old at the time. I don't remember it. I can't believe I don't. It seems like I would have seen that on the news or something, but I wasn't really into the Beatles yet. Anyway, though, that's the closest thing to, like, an actual figure that lived in this country that was assassinated that is someone that, yeah, happened. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna run out of steam. I had a vent on this, a horrible thing. I don't know what would have happened had we actually lost former President Trump. Honest to God, this country would have been in a civil war could have started. Think about it. If he had been that 1 inch to the left had happened, what would the MAGA people do? They would absolutely blame Biden. It's because again, we don't want to disagree anymore. They would absolutely blame Biden, and God knows what would have happened. Honestly, I just I'm already dreading the election if Biden somehow wins. What they're going to do, because he won't win convincingly. It'll be close if he does. And what are they going to do in response? It scares me because I've said it, it's a mantra now. We don't know how to disagree. So what would they have done? What would they do? If again, this 1 inch to the left had happened, this bullet, what would they have done? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's, yeah, it's just, it was a horrible thing that almost happened. It was horrible anyway because a man died, and I'm not sure if anybody else is in the hospital is in critical condition. How they're doing, I haven't heard. And of course, the shooter is dead. And got what he deserved. I hate to say that, but he did. So I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not as smart as others that talk about this, but I'm an American who has an opinion, and I'm giving it. Be that what it may, for what it's worth. So, I'm out.